so a couple of nudges just to come back is I talked to this family friend. I've seen him have success. I want something similar. I get married. I want success for our family. I'm trying to find a house. And then I find out I don't really know what I'm doing in trying to get real estate done. And so
the nudge from your dad.
So my nudge from my dad is, hey, let's go and learn more about this.
All right, welcome back. I'm Jason Andrus.
I'm Colter Hansen. Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, I am too. And
it's something we just threw together.
We did. Yeah, we had our friend Ryan mentioned to us, hey, so what is that nudge that kind of pushes you across the threshold of investing in real estate? And I'm trying to think back of like, what is it that nudged me? And I imagine that you have plenty of nudges that it takes, and I'm not sure that there's one nudge that makes it all happen, right? It's kind of a slow progression.
Yeah.
But, any ideas for you? Like, what was that initial nudge for you?
My big nudge was Robert Kiyosaki, reading the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I thought, I want to do real estate. And so that I guess that was more of an itch more than anything. Of once he threw that in my head, I couldn't shake it. I'm like, I really want to be in real estate. So I thought, okay, how do I do this? So I went and talked to a whole bunch of different people about, investing in real estate. Most people had no idea. Some people that have been investors, I took them out to lunch, said, hey, can I ask you a few questions? And it only went so far. There's so many gaps that was missing in there. And a lot of them, I'm like, well, can I follow you around? And they're like, well, no, I don't know what to tell you, because they don't know how to tell me what they do. However they learned or whatever strategy they're learning, it's just really tough to fill in all the blanks. It's fine to jump in and fill in some blanks, but to start the paper off so you have blanks, that's really tough. And so I found a fourplex that I was going to buy, and I talked about that a little bit before, but I went and hired an inspector. And at the end of the deal, the inspector, I said, so what do you think? And he goes, well, walking through this, and what are you buying it for? So I told him what I negotiated. He goes, what are the rents bringing in? And I told him, and he goes, well, if you don't buy this, I will. And that was the nudge. That was the nudge that I needed to buy my first rental property. But then when it came to investing more into real estate, I wanted to get into flipping and rehabbing and all the cool things you see on cable shows, but there was no cable shows back then. I really wanted to get into some stuff, and I ran into this education. A friend of mine introduced it to me, and it's a longer story, which maybe another podcast will go into, but I just wanted to really push in what the nudge was. I got the education, and then I surrounded myself around other like-minded investors, other community members, and as I was going through the education, I needed questions answered and someone to challenge me to go out and make my first offer. And I remember going through, Fix and Flip, and I went through a couple other ones, and I'm like, man, I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. And my mentor, Justin Yates, who's not with us anymore, he had a tragic plane accident, but he's like, go make an offer. I'm like, okay, I will. So I went and I made an offer on a property, and I did a couple subject twos, and it was always that nudge because I surrounded myself around other like-minded people, other people that were getting educated also in the same education that I was getting educated in. And because of those conversations, and because of the few things I needed to fill in the blanks, every one of those people nudged me. And some of the nudges was, hey, how come Ryan's doing better than I am? How come he's already got his first deal? So that was a nudge. Maybe not social validation. What is it? What's the word for it? I mean, he was doing something, and I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it.
It's basically an accountability, right?
You're
go. Looking at saying, hey, I have the same access to the same resources and
same knowledge.
I might as well go and do this, something similar.
Yeah, I remember going to my very first live classes down in Arizona, and somebody stood up and said, I've been involved for 3 months, and I've already watched 60% of the classes. I'm like, I want to watch 10% of the classes. I've been in for 7 months. And so that was a nudge. Oh, I got to watch more classes. And so all along the way, if you surround yourself with the right people, you can get the nudges that you need.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Jason. I think that's, incredible as to, we can't define where our journey is going to take us unless we decide where we want it to take us. And I remember early on, I was having a conversation with a family friend, and this family friend actually flips big ranches. I mean, multi-million-dollar ranches. And I thought that is really cool because he'd end up having crews out on these ranches, building fence and redirecting streams and
cleaning it up
and making sure that they were ready for the flip or ready for taking it next. And I remember talking to him, and I just said, so Danny, what is it that that you would recommend for somebody early on in their career? He says, go learn something, provide value.
There you go. Love that.
And I was like, well, that seems simple.
Yeah.
Go learn something, provide value. And I was pursuing my accounting degree. I ended up with my master's in accounting. I got a CPA license, a CGMA license, and then it was time to, it was time to provide value. It's like, okay, I know that I want to do real estate. And so in the meantime of me getting my formal education, my dad called me. I was in the middle of a negotiation on a short sale. I'd been talking to loss mitigation officers. I was like, I don't know what.
Which we love them, don't we?
Oh yeah, I mean, and so I'm going back and forth with these guys. I want to buy this house. It was actually a duplex in Pocatello. And I had called him so many times thinking, hey, we're really close on being able to get this transaction done. Little did I know, when my dad called me, he says, hey, Colter, I know you're trying to do, some real estate. I know you want to buy a house. I heard this on the radio, and I think we should go to this 3-day event and see what this real estate group has to talk about. And so at the time I was like, I'm in the mindset, I'm going to go. I know that I want to invest in real estate. And ended up going with my dad. We spent 3 days. I took 13 pages worth of notes.
That's awesome.
And said, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. And so I came away from that, and my next nudge was, so a couple of nudges just to come back is, I talked to this family friend. I've seen him have success. Mm-hmm. I want something similar. I get married. I want success for our family. I'm trying to find a house. And then I find out I don't really know what I'm doing in trying to get real estate done. And so
the nudge from your dad.
So my nudge from my dad is, hey, let's go and learn more about this. And ended up investing more in real estate education at that time. It was 2008. The crash is happening, and so you have a lot of turmoil in the real estate market. And 2008, 2009, 2010. And I was able to get my feet wet in 2010, and I started my journey of buying one property every single year since 2010. I have not missed a single year.
That's awesome.
In buying a property, a business, or otherwise to create value. I learned something, and I create value, and rinse and repeat, and repeat. Learn something, create value, and so that's, I guess, what I would encourage anybody is, if they're looking to get into real estate, learn a strategy, implement, provide value.
And if you're looking for some place to network, somebody or a group of people that'll give you nudges, get a hold of us. I'll nudge the heck out of you. No, I mean, because you'll see people that'll be doing stuff, people that did a wholesale deal. A couple in our group, Linda and Jeff. They found a deal through work, and they said, we don't know for sure exactly what to do, but we know we can help you. And they got a hold of a couple of us in the community, and they watched their class that weekend on how to do wholesale deals, because they knew that's what they were going to do. So they watched the class, and then they got a hold of us, and we found a buyer within our community. And so they found the deal, they found the buyer, and made the deal happen, and made $10,000, all from a nudge of education, calling us, and we nudge them. We'll go watch the class, and after that, we'll come to the community and talk to people that want to buy. And somebody in the community said, yeah, I'll buy. I mean, everything about it was all about nudges, of success, of go out and do something and get going. And I think a lot of times we get into analysis paralysis. It's that whole thing, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready, and we never go, right? The go part's what everybody wants, but it's always that getting ready. And I've met people that have spent thousands of dollars in education and never done anything with it. It's because they don't have a community of like-minded people that can help them nudge.
Well, and I love the idea of crowdsourcing, right? Or, in crowdsourcing brain space. You have so many people with different experience. If you can come with an added value to that group of saying, I understand these principles, what do you know of those, but also, can you answer this question for me? And then that collaboration back and forth is being able to come to a more efficient final, hey, this is going to work for me because I was able to field all of the knowledge that other people have, but starting from 0 and getting to 100, you have a progression that happens through there. And so these little nudges of, connecting with the like-minded people, connecting with the education, obtaining the knowledge, learning something, taking action, and building value.
That's awesome. So I got to go back just real quick. The nudge that inspector gave me, one of the best things I could do, or one of the funnest things I do, is give somebody that same nudge. I have people that ask me all the time, hey, would you come walk this property with me? Give me an idea. So I walk the property with them, give them an idea of what the condition is, and then they said, so what do you think? And I'm like, so what's the price? What's this? What's that? I mean, if it's not, I won't. I'll say, hey, I wouldn't buy this. It's not a good deal. But if it's a good deal, I give them the same nudge that I needed. If you don't buy this, I will. And it's amazing how many of them are like, that's all I needed. And they buy the deal. So I love giving that same nudge to somebody else, of the nudge that Ron Reed, who's he's been doing inspections in real estate for 40 years or better. He's got to be in his 60s, and he's been doing it since he's 20s. Yeah. He is like the grand poobah of real estate in the Idaho Falls area. He really is. He's amazing. He's a good friend of mine. And anyways, that's what gave me my nudge. And so I've been trying to pay that back on giving that nudge to other people to get going, make that offer, close on a deal, and then go do another.
Yeah. Well, so if this wasn't your nudge, think about it.
That's right.
Learn something, apply it, and
give value.
Provide value. And those nudges will slowly progress you, and sometimes quickly progress you toward your goals.
Yeah. Love it. Good episode.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, thank you.